Today's October 6th, 2016. We've gathered in all the barley. I've shown some videos on us winnowing it, threshing it, cleaning it, and now that's all gathered in. We did about 700, 800 square feet of production in barley in the field, and that resulted in this barley right here. So we've got about 12 gallons of cleaned barley. So this has all been cleaned and ready for the next process, brewing or whatever we're going to do. So over the last 40 hours, I have soaked some barley to get it ready for sprouting, which we need to do to malt it, which is the next step to making beer. And what I've made is a little system here to soak the barley. And so what we do is get a bucket, drill some holes around the sides and in the bottom, and then you fill it with barley, actually about half full of barley, and then you fill this bucket with water, about half full, and then you put this one in there, and about every 8 hours you want to change that water. So it's real easy. Just lift this out, change this water, put more water in there, soak it again for 8 hours. Do that for 40 hours, then it's all soaked and ready for sprouting. So to sprout it, with this old storage tote, and we'll sprout it in here. So this is the soaked barley. It's about 3 inches deep. It'll be ready. It's getting ready to sprout soon, just like sprouting alfalfa seeds or whatever. It just takes some time. So that will take about 56 hours. About halfway through, you want to go through and fluff it up so it doesn't get all matted or spunky in there. But you do want to keep it a little bit moist. So you take this moist towel and you put it there. And this also helps it breathe. It'll breathe oxygen through that towel, and it'll keep the barley moist enough to sprout, but not wet enough to rot. So do that about 56 hours, and after that we will then, it'll be malted, and then we'll dry it. So that'll be the next process, and we'll have another video on that. Okay, today is October 8th, 2016. We've finished sprouting the barley in the sprouting bin here, and taken the barley and put it on these screens here, because it's been malted. So the little grain sprouted, and once it sprouts, then the enzymes start converting the starches to sugars to grow. But we are going to interrupt that process of growing and dry it out. We dry it out here in order to then crack it or grind it to do more processing. But I've taken an old screen door, cut it in half, put it up above the fireplace here, and we're going to dry it thoroughly. And once it's dried, then we will go on to the next process. One thing that I'm going to do is going to take away a little bit of this grain to make crystal malt, and that's just drying it or baking it at 350 for about I think about 10 minutes or so, so that it crystallizes the sugars in there instead of drying it out too much. So that's the only thing we're going to do differently with some of this. Okay. Here we see how I roasted some of the barley that was malted. On the right you see a pan of black patent barley that's finished, and just took a cast iron pan or even just a cake pan and roasted it over a barbecue grill. Makes a little bit of smoke, but you end up with a good roast that you can use for stouts and porters.